Alright guys, since I reviewed the It's Alive films, all three of them, I am going to now do a ranking on the It's Alive franchise. And this is not counting the remake. I guess there's a remake of It's Alive, which I don't think any people have really heard of. But this is just counting Larry Cohen's It's Alive trilogy. And this is going to be a pretty bare bones ranking, if that makes sense, where like you're going to kind of get what you expect with this ranking. It's not anything special with like any controversial like ranking picks for this franchise, because there's only three films and I do enjoy all of them. So let's get started. Number 3 is It's Alive 3, Island of the Dead. And this one is, if you compare to the first two, it's not subtle. It's just so incredibly crazy, because the first two movies are more subtle than this. They are not trying to be as goofy. Even though all three of them do have comedic moments, this one is trying to be really goofy unintentionally. Where I feel like they kind of fail in that way, but they also succeed in being a really entertaining movie with It's Alive 3, because Michael Moriarty is fantastic in this movie. He's an actor that I really, really enjoy, and he was also in The Stuff, which is another Larry Cohen movie, and it's really great as well, and he's great in that as well. And I really like that he's in two of Larry Cohen's movies that where he gives a really, really great performance and a memorable performance. He's so funny and so charming in this movie. Really enjoy him. And Karen Black is great in this movie. I like seeing her too. Even though she doesn't have a lot to do, she's not in the movie a lot, but I think that she's in it enough. And I enjoyed those actors. I think that they're fun in this movie, even though this movie is way more goofy and way more sillier, because it's not about the babies from the first two movies. It's about a new set that, like, Michael Moriarty has this kid, and Karen Black's the mom, and these babies are all on an island because they're too dangerous for mankind. And I think that is an interesting idea, but the movie is just really, really goofy with a lot of aspects. But I enjoy them, but that doesn't make this movie, I think, more fun than the first two, if that makes sense, or more watchable. It's still got some fun performances and some silly stuff that work, but the movie overall, if I had to pick one out of these films to pick the least of, it would be this one. Number 2 is It's Alive 2, or It Lives Again. See, this is what I mean by this ranking. This ranking is going to be very bare bones, because it's like, you know what number 1's going to be now. But It Lives Again, It's Alive 2, I think is a fun sequel, and I think it's really solid. And I think that what the first movie set up with this idea of killer baby, I think is really cool. Using that and utilizing it again in this movie, where It's Alive 3 is more showy of stuff. This one and the first one are not very showy of, like, the creature. And I think that it makes the creature even more creepy whenever you don't see it that much. And I know that they had a budget where it's like you can't show it that much, but I think it made the movie, both the first two movies, in its own favor. It gave them a better movie, because you don't see the creature that much in the first two movies. And I really appreciate that in the second one. They do a good job of that. And I like the fact that they have the guy from the first movie, the father, going to a new family where, like, you see this is happening to other people. Like, these babies are being born, you don't know why, and he's trying to save everyone. And I think that that's a cool story progression to the next movie. I think that works from the first movie to the second movie. And again, it just gives a good sense of atmosphere. It gives a good sense of horror that you don't see. And I really think that it's a really solid sequel. Number 1 is easily It's Alive, the first one. And again, I like all three of these movies, but the first one is the best one. I think that it works in a lot of ways. I think that it is the most, out of the three, the most creepiest movie. The second one had moments, and I like the second one. But I felt like this one did a great job of being such a low-budget movie that really worked in its favor with the horrific elements of, like, the baby going around and getting people. Like, I think it really works, and I think the movie gives... I think this is the only one that gives an emotional, like, payoff at the end, because you really do feel tragedy for the father and the mother and dealing with this baby that is, like, not killing because it's evil, it's just killing because it's a startled little creature. And I think that it works in the first movie so well. And again, the two does a good job of it too, and 3 is really silly, but I think that overall, the first one I think just works on all the levels better than the other two. I think that this is just a really enjoyable movie, a really good, intense movie with good atmosphere, great acting, good characters, and I think it's just a really good, moody movie. And I really enjoy the first It's Alive movie. And that is my ranking on the It's Alive franchise. Tell me down below how you guys would rank them. And I feel like I'm going to know the answer, but thank you guys for watching. Hey guys, if you like this video, consider checking out my other content. I review a majority of films that are pretty recent and also older films and mostly horror as well. Horror is my favorite genre, so I expect a lot of horror. And check out all my links down below. I have a link to Patreon. I have a link to Instagram, link to Twitter, link to my Facebook group, Horror Enthusiast 101, and to my own personal Facebook page, CDR Movie Reviews. And thank you for anybody who watched this video. Thanks for watching.